I'm here with Davis Cup captain Jim Courier, who pretty much has headed this thing up for many years. Jim, the tour just keeps getting better and better. Welcome back to Denver.
It's great to be back in Denver here. Second time we've played here in this beautiful building, and we're looking forward to a great night tonight. We got a couple of young tour rookies ready to bring the heat. So I'm the veteran. I need to hold up for the veterans tonight.
I didn't want to have to point out the obvious, which is at least last year you had Johnny Mack here to sort of hold down the fort as the elder statesman. This year, Andy Roddick, James Blake, Mark Philippus, it's you now.
I'm the senior spokesperson here for this group of players, but it's going to be a great challenge. It's going to be great fun for me to go out and battle against these guys. I have James Blake in the first semifinal, Mark Philippus and Andy Roddick, two of the game's greatest servers in the history of our sport, will be battling after that, and then may the best player win, but I hope to show up in the final.
I just watched a little bit of hit and giggle here with the clinic, but watching James and watching Andy here at high altitude, does it give you maybe second thoughts that maybe let's do a redo against Great Britain? To heck with the clay in San Diego. Let's play this thing at high altitude with Blake and Roddick and bring them back.
I'll tell you that. The altitude didn't help us very much last year in Boise when we lost to the Serbs. We're still searching for the solution, I guess, but you know, Andy and James, the last two guys in singles to win the Davis Cup for the United States, along with Bob and Mike Bryan. So their Davis Cup records are excellent, and you know, the teams did well with those guys, and we certainly miss them. But we've moved on, and with John Isner and Sam Querrey as kind of our core group right now, it was great to see Donald Young have a little taste of it as well. We'll get some of the younger guys involved going forward for sure, but it's it's a different time for sure.
Is there anything that you have to do as Davis Cup captain to sort of reinvent the process to prepare the team? Are there going to be training weeks? I mean, is there anything that you can do differently or that you would do differently if you had the opportunity to get these guys together a little more often?
Well, the way the schedules work, training weeks really aren't possible. You're playing the week after the Australian Open, the week after the U.S. Open. You just don't have the ability to do that, and it's such a case-by-case deal with who the players are and what they need. I have good shorthand with both John and Sam and Mike and Bob, all these guys, because I've been on the bench with them quite a bit. I need more time to develop a relationship with someone like a Donald Young, a Ryan Harrison, Jack Sock, Bradley Klon, whoever's going to be playing for us in the future. Those things take time, so we'll look for opportunities to get together for sure.
Well, you're trying to develop that. You're also continuing to try to see this tour evolve. What are some of the things that you've seen that you've been real pleased with regard to the evolution of the senior tour?
Well, I think that this format on the Power Share Series has really been a great move for us to be able to come and play now 12 cities, which when we were playing multi-day tournaments instead of one-night tournaments like we play now, we were getting to 8 cities globally at the most. And now we're in 12 cities in the U.S. in a very short period of time. So we can create some energy, create a real season feel to this, play these 12 events in about 6.5 weeks. And it gives the guys a chance to also bring their tennis around and showcase it to different cities. And I think that's important for our sport to be able to promote tennis in a lot of markets like Denver that don't see a ton of high-level pro tennis.
A lot of these guys that are on this tour love to continue to play, obviously. And now we're seeing a trend where a lot of these players from your generation have jumped into the coaching ranks. We've seen Boris Becker jump into the Novak Djokovic camp. We've seen Stefan Edberg jump in with Roger Federer and Michael Chang with Kei Nishikori. Right. What do you make of this trend? Is this all sort of a spin-off of what we've seen with Andy Murray and Yvonne Lendl?
It feels to me like that was a tipping point moment. I think that when Yvonne showed that he could have that kind of an impact on a player of Andy Murray's caliber with a part-time travel schedule, that really, I think, opened the eyes of some guys, both inside the locker room, the top players looking for help, as well as the coaches that they ended up soliciting who don't need the money, don't need the work, but they thought it might be a fun way to compete again, I'm sure. That's at least the way I see it for Michael and for Boris and these guys. It's a way for them to be involved with the current players and help them while not having to be on the road full time. So I think Yvonne has shown that there is impact to be had, and clearly when Murray had lost 3 major finals before they started, and now he's won 2 majors, that's a big difference in someone's career.
Before we let you go, you got to get stretched out before you take on these youngsters. Jim, last year I stood out here with John McEnroe, and he kind of told me he liked his chances because of the high altitude and his style of game, and sure enough, he was right. Handicap what we're going to look for tonight. Are you going to go out and win this thing? You won this tour last year.
Yeah.
but last year Denver wasn't your best stop.
No.
What's going to happen tonight?
I don't have a great feeling, to be honest, coming out and playing someone like James Blake in his maiden voyage. I remember my maiden voyage in Champions Tennis and how amped up I was and how well I wanted to do. I know James is going to be coming out here trying to prove to himself and to all of us in the room that he can still play great tennis, and we know he can. He was back on tour just this time last year, so I've got a challenging draw. I'm going to have to play awfully well just to make it to the finals, but the thing that I love about a night like tonight is this is a real test for me. I'm going to know where I stand game-wise when I go up against James. And if I get through James, it's going to be, arguably even tougher in the final. So we'll see.
All four of you guys, very dignified champions. It really means a great deal to us here in Denver to have players of your ilk here and for us to be able to watch play, Jim. I really appreciate you coming to town. I know I speak for the entire Denver tennis community. So thanks for bringing the tour back to Denver again this year. We really appreciate it.
It's great to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Captain.
You got it.